Hello, once again, Kenny Jacobs from Bloomington, Illinois. I'm a PGA teaching professional, and my videos talk both about how to improve your golf game, as well as being a Christian and living in the last days. Today I want to talk to you about keys to a good short game. The short game is vital to scoring. It's the best way to lower your score. It's the only way to keep a good round going. It's the only way to get any sort of level of consistency. And the short game would include putting, chipping, pitching, and bunkers. But today's just going to be an overview of all of that. And number one key is you have to develop a good feel. And feel for distance, feel for how much break to play, feel for how much swing to make, feel for what trajectory to hit the shot on. All that stuff comes from practice. The weakest part of a player's game generally will be short game, and the less you play and the less you practice, that's where it really shows up the fastest. If you're not practicing short game a lot, it's very, very easy to lose your feel for what you're trying to do. So you want to practice to maintain a good feel. You want to keep a very light grip pressure when you're chipping, pitching, and putting, so you can feel the club and feel the club head itself when you're swinging, and you really have a good awareness of where your hands are during the swing and how your hands relate to the club face. One of the most important rules to remember when you're chipping or you're around the green is to hit the ball as low as you can every time you can. Never hit the ball any higher or nearer than you have to. Never carry the ball any farther than is necessary. Get the ball on the ground as quickly as you can on as lowest trajectory as you can hit it and land it on the green, and then you'll get a much more consistent roll when the ball hits the ground, and it'll be a lot easier to determine how it's going to react, how far it's going to run. It's also a lot easier to hit a target much closer to you, just a few feet onto the green, than it is to try to fly the ball a decent distance across the green and land it into a more precise spot, and then hope that it stops at the right amount of roll. The higher you hit the ball, the more it comes down and sinks into the green and doesn't want to run. If you hit something real low and flat, similar to the trajectory that you might skip a rock, you throw a rock to skip it, that nice low flat trajectory, or the trajectory you'd throw a bowling ball real low so it lands real smooth and rolls. That's the trajectory we're looking for. To do that, you want to play the ball well back in your stance. And for any short game shot, it's very, very important to have most of your weight on your left side if you're a right-handed golfer, on your front foot, keeping your body motion to a minimum on the backswing. We don't want much turn. You want to stay pretty still over the ball on the backswing. But you do need to turn and follow through. A lot of people are trying so hard to stay still that they forget you need to rotate your body and pivot and turn and shift some weight through toward the target on the follow-through. If you don't do that, then your wrists take over, and then you start hitting a lot of bladed chips and a lot of fat chips and pitches. Last thing you want to do is catch a chip shot or a pitch shot thin and blade it across the green. So keep some weight on your front foot, and then make sure you turn and keep your body accelerating through the ball when you hit the golf ball. So another thing is you need to have a good imagination. You need to really picture the shot you're going to hit before you hit it. That will help your subconscious know what it needs to do to help your feel. Once you have a kind of mental picture in your mind, then your subconscious has a game plan of how to hit it, how to set up to it. If I want to hit the ball high and soft, then the ball's farther forward in my stance. If I want to hit it low, then it's back in my stance. If I want to hit it high, my hands aren't as far in front of the club face at address. If I want to hit it low, they are out in front of the club face. So you need to have a plan in mind and a good mental picture of what you're going to do. If you don't do that, and you just kind of look at the shot, and you kind of look at the hole or look at the flag, and you don't really know exactly how you're going to do it, that's when disaster strikes. But if you can look and say, okay, based on this lie, how the ball's sitting in the grass, I want to land the ball here, and when I land the ball here, I'm going to hit it on this trajectory so that this is how it's going to react, and then it's going to run, and it's going to run out to the hole. That's the key to it. You've got to be able to imagine it, picture it in your mind, and then allow your subconscious to produce that. Another thing I would say is don't stand over the ball a long time, especially if you're a person that gets a little nervous with chipping or putting. You can stand over the ball and get too tense or start second guessing yourself. I find that if you just stick with your first idea, commit to it, don't waste a lot of time over it, get set up and get ready and go, your success rate will go way up. So you need to have a good feel. You need to have your weight forward on your front foot. Keep your body pretty still on the backswing. But remember to turn and follow through and accelerate on the follow through. You want to picture the shot in your mind and commit to it and know whether you're going to hit it high, medium, or low, why you're going to do it that way, exactly where you're trying to land it, and then exactly how it's going to roll once it does land. A clear picture in your mind that you can commit to is really the biggest key. That's what's going to allow you to play these shots with confidence. And confidence absolutely is the biggest key to being good around the greens. Okay, now, I also want to go over quickly a few key upcoming prophetic events. If you watch my channel, you know I firmly believe that the age is short, time is short. We are definitely living in the last days. And I just want to give you a quick overview of what should be happening as we end the end of the age. I believe the next event is what's called the rapture of the church. The rapture of the church is when the true believers in Christ are taken up to heaven, and all the people who've died in the past who were believers are raised and taken up into heaven. And that would leave behind just non-believers on the earth. And that is just prior to the final 7-year period, which is called the tribulation period. And there's a key process that's going to happen that will start in the final 7 years. And that is talked about in Daniel chapter 9, verse 27, that the Antichrist, the future Antichrist, will sign a 7-year peace agreement with Israel and surrounding nations. And if you watch the news at all now, you know there's a lot of talk about that happening. And that's President Obama, John Kerry, Benjamin Netanyahu, Abbas, the leader of the Palestinian organization. They've been meeting and are continuing to meet. And they're really trying hard to get this peace agreement signed sometime in 2014. And if that peace treaty does get signed, and there's a 7-year peace treaty, that will set off the final 7-year period of time called the tribulation period. Now, there's a lot of speculation, debate, has been for years. A lot of scholars believe the rapture of the church happens, like I believe, at the beginning of the tribulation period. There are a lot of other people that say it happens in the middle, and there's a lot of people that say it doesn't happen until the end. One thing's for sure, it is going to happen. Jesus said, of that day and hour knows no man, just the Father in heaven. So we really don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but we've been told to be ready, to watch and be ready. So I believe from all my study that it will happen at the beginning of the 7-year period. But I just know I want to be ready. I want to be ready no matter when that is. And if it's not, and if it's later on during that 7 years, then I need to be ready to face whatever difficulties that lie ahead, and not deny my faith when times get tough. Now, midway through this 7-year period of time called the tribulation, there's something that Daniel and Jesus both referred to as the abomination of desolation. Once the 7-year period starts, the nation of Israel will be able to build their third temple. The last one was destroyed in AD 70 by the Romans, and they've not had a temple since then. But in the final 7 years, they will resume animal sacrifice in the temple. And they are already ready for that. They've got all the utensils that they need. They've got the plans for the temple, and they're really just waiting for the chance to build it. And once that peace treaty is signed, they will be allowed to do that. And again, there's been a lot of discussion recently and over the last few years about them rebuilding the temple. And then 3.5 years into the final 7-year period of time is what's called the abomination of desolation. And that is when the final Antichrist will enter the temple in Jerusalem and claim that he is God. and force everybody to worship him as God. And that's when the famous mark of the beast will be enforced. And then everybody will be required to get the mark of the beast, which I firmly believe is an RFID chip that will be placed in your hand or your forehead. And you will not be able to buy or sell or conduct any business unless you have that mark. And the Bible explicitly says if you get that mark, you will lose your soul. You cannot get the mark of the beast without suffering eternal damnation. And that happens 3.5 years into the final 7-year period of time. But the thing we need to be looking for right now is we need to be looking for, 1, the return of Jesus for his church, and 2, notice that you're going to see more and more talk about this peace agreement with Israel. I think we're right on the edge. Time is short. So I want to encourage you, look into this stuff, get your heart right. If you're not born again, ask Jesus into your heart. Time is short. Thank you.